Hi Afro expats, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about one of the biggest questions people have, which is, do I need to speak the language in the prospective country that I am moving to? I'm going to give you my opinion about it and also some personal experiences in regard to this. So the purpose of me sharing my experiences with you is to let you know that I'm here to create roadmaps. I help people who want to move abroad plan what they would like to have happen. So I always say, don't just get up and go. Many people have done that, but I think that that can be very complicated and unsatisfying in the long run. So I'm here to let you know that I help people create personal blueprints for their personal move or their family's move. And you can get online at afroexpats.com, and on my site you can book a session with me. I have two options. One is an hour and the other is 30 minutes. So if you just aren't sure where to start, give me a call. I can help you get there, all right? So the question for today, again, welcome to my space, afroexpats.com, and my Facebook page, my group. Happy to see you here. My name is Michelle for Afro Expats. So basically, one of the things that people ask all the time or they're afraid of is that they don't speak the language. So I moved to Mexico 3 years ago, and I thought I spoke the language pretty well, and I realized very quickly that I wasn't great at it. Definitely a little bit above beginners, but when I got here, I realized very quickly that I did not speak the language well. My point of saying that is one of the things that helped me choose where in Mexico to live was I wanted to be able to at least communicate on the basic levels. So I ended up living or choosing a place that's in central Mexico. If you don't know by now, central Mexico is not where the beach is. It's very inland, and the town we live in is called San Miguel de Allende. It's quite mountainous. We are 6,300 feet above sea level. We're not prone to earthquakes and all these other kind of natural disasters, so that works out really well. But this town really has a nice blend and mix of people that speak both languages on both ends. So basically there are lots of foreigners here that are bilingual or barely bilingual, and then there are also a lot of locals who are also bilingual. So I chose to discuss with family where should we go, and we decided this was the space for us because it's an easy transition city. So one of the things I want to say about picking a place is trying to find a space that matches your personality type, your experiences. How easy is it for you to take on something new, because it can be very overwhelming moving to a complete different country, complete different city with faces and people that you are not familiar seeing. I know a lot of folks will ask also, at least ask me, are there a lot of Black people in San Miguel? The answer to that is not really. When it comes to a percentage, it's a very small percentage of folks, but it's a very close-knit community, so we all kind of find each other. I know there are other parts of Mexico that are, growing much faster in terms of Black people moving from wherever to Mexico. A lot of folks will go to places like Merida or Tulum or Playa del Carmen. That's beachside. That's very far away from here. Anyway, getting back to the point about the language. So I really think that it helps a lot if you're able to communicate on the most basic level, meaning, just asking for food, where's the restroom, how much things cost, how much does it cost, or where do I need to go, or where are, these places, whatever that might be to you. I think that people really need to have like kind of just a basic language, because it just helps the world go around for you better. Meaning, once you get there, you're going to be kind of burdened a little bit initially with just settling in, trying to adjust to a new place, trying to figure out, like simple things like paying bills. I remember when I first got here, I moved into the community that we live in, and I would always walk down, not a far walk, but enough to be like, down to the security guard to tell them someone was coming, because I wasn't able to really express that clearly over the phone. And a lot of times it's really difficult over the phone, as opposed to, throwing in the body language and, showing things on your phone in translation, what you mean or what you're trying to say. So I had several people hang up on me. I know it's rude, but it happens because they're probably frustrated and they just don't understand. And I've also been frustrated by those situations. There are several times I tried to order food and from the same restaurant, and just, different people picked up the phone, and I was like, okay, this person understood me the last time, so here I go. And I would order something, and the next person that would answer on the next try just didn't get it, and literally I got hung up on. And I was pissed, and I was just like, okay, I'm not going to take it out on the person who answered, but it's still rude at the end of the day, no matter where you are in the world. So when I went there physically the next time, I kind of expressed myself, and I said, hey, sometimes I call, sometimes I want food delivered. Here's my address. Is there anyone here that I can communicate with via WhatsApp? Because that's the app that's really popular here. Is there anyone that works here that I can communicate via WhatsApp, that I can place an order with, so that I can get my food, we can all be happy, and it's delivered to my house, and I don't have to, feel like it was such a struggle to order arroz con frito or whatever. So yeah, at the end of the day, the point of saying all of that is that there are a little bit more difficulties if you speak zero of the language. So we're going to talk about Mexico because I'm in Mexico. So I basically took Spanish in college. I also traveled extensively in South America years ago, and while I was there, I hired someone in Ecuador, and I was there for about 5 weeks, and I did 20 hours every week with this person one-on-one, so I could really get Spanish down. And I thought I was doing something. I was really comfortable with it. There were hardly any people that spoke any English, I think none. So this was kind of good because it pushed me to practice the language. I was in Cuenca, which I think is the third largest city in Ecuador. And I pushed myself, and I was like, okay, I got this. I got these sentences down, and I got the verbs right, and et cetera, et cetera. And I remember, just communicating with some of the children that would be on the buses we were traveling around on. And then we transitioned over to Chile, and the dialect of Spanish changed completely, and I understood nothing at all. And so it was kind of defeating in a way, because I was able to read menus, but then when I would speak to a waiter, server, whomever about my order, they just didn't understand me. So that was very frustrating. I could understand how someone coming from another country, going to the US, trying to speak English, I have sympathy for them. So through the years of travel and moving around and, trying to get languages, or mostly Spanish, under my belt, I have become very patient and really a great listener when it comes to you know, people trying to speak either English or in me trying to speak Spanish, you know, I just am patient with it because I know it can be frustrating on both ends of the stick. So to further answer the question is, yes, I think it's very important to try and learn the language before you get to this place. The basics, you know, get books. Most travel guides will have really basic phrases. You can go on YouTube, you can get Duolingo, any of these apps, and really learn the basics, you know. And I say the basics are, where's the bathroom, what's in my food, you know, like what is in this dish, you know, how much does something cost, can I have, that's like, I use that all the time, and I want, I feel like and I'm going. So I feel like those phrases kind of become really common in our exchanges with people when we're out and about. You know, it's like, how much does this cost? And in Spanish, I used to always say, ¿cuánto es? And I didn't realize that ¿cuánto es?, meaning how much, meant I'm committing to buying that item. And then I learned when I got here that it's cuánto cuesta if I'm just asking for the price. And if I want to buy it, then I'm saying cuánto es, or la cuenta, for the check or the bill. So, you know, there are a lot of little innuendos. Most people will understand you even if you don't get it exactly right. I say the biggest part of the learning experience is to be open about it. Don't worry about sounding perfect, because I certainly stumble over everything, and I just say whatever comes to my mind that I think is correct. And if they don't understand me, I really search my brain for other words and phrases. You know, being here for 3 years, I really should be much better at it. I'm definitely better than I was when I got here. And when I arrived, I realized that I needed practice. And in my 3 years of being here, I've learned a lot, because there are a lot of phrases that I just need to know. There are a lot of things that I just, you know, use all the time. So I've committed those phrases to memory. Now, if I would just sit myself down and commit a little more to really putting in, you know, a couple hours a week of practice, I know that I would be in a much, much better place. My son came with 0 Spanish, and he is fluent right now. I'm so proud of him. You know, he's had a tutor, but he's also been immersed in schools where he's able to, you know, really practice and really forced to learn the language. Otherwise, he's not able to learn some of his lessons. It's a bilingual situation, but on the Spanish side, he does need to know some Spanish, and he needed to know some Spanish. And since then, he's learned a lot. He helps me when I go out, or, you know, if I don't know how to say something or I don't remember a word, he always kind of jumps in and gives me, you know, his 2 cents worth, and or corrects me on my pronunciation. So anyway, that's my lesson for today is, yes, I think it's important, especially if you really want to make connections with locals, and not everyone's going to speak English. It depends on what part of the world you're in. And for example, you know, here in San Miguel, it works because there are a lot of expats here. Same thing with the Yucatan. But if you start going to like cities like Mexico City, you know, there are going to be people that speak English, but you know, their language is Spanish, and we can't really get mad about that. Sometimes people get upset about these things, and I just think to myself, like, that's selfish, you know. I mean, I've, you know, had so many people in the US, especially in Miami, that would get upset because people didn't speak English. And, you know, Miami is a world unto itself. And I lived there for a lot of years, and you know, everyone communicated in Spanish, and people would get upset about that. So it's kind of the same thing in reverse, you know, where the feelings are the same, basically. So my 2 cents worth is, if you're moving to wherever you're moving to in the world, and if you're coming to Mexico, basically try to learn your basic phrases. There's so many resources out there. I've already listed a few of those things. And apply yourself, get your family on board if you're moving with your husband or your children or your partner or whomever, just get them on board, do it together. Some kids will definitely pick it up faster than you will, so you can kind of lean on them a little bit. But I think that it is important to really try to pick up as much as you can and keep the process flowing and glowing, because at the end of the day, it's important that you don't just go to another country and you still live as an American or as a Canadian and you're there. And I think it's important to make friends with local people. We have lots of local friends. Fortunately for us, a lot of them do speak English, but the ones that don't, or don't speak a lot, I have had such amazing experiences with these individuals. I remember pre-COVID going out. I go out all the time, but I went out with a group of women that were all locals, and I had a blast with them. I would say of the 6 of them, maybe 4 spoke really good English, and the other 1 or 2 not so much. But they were so fun and so funny, and yeah, we went to I think 3 different places that night. And I remember getting home thinking oh my gosh, they're so accepting of me because I'm trying and they're trying and they want to practice their English and I want to practice my Spanish, and I just had a great time. So the point of saying that is that people will receive you, and they will especially receive you when you kind of put yourself out there and you try to immerse yourself into their language and their culture. So in saying all of that, again, I get back to sending people to my website, because I think that a lot of times, as mostly Black Americans, we think, I remember just having experiences in the 90s, the mid 90s, where people would say, oh, why are you trying to do that? That's for white people, okay? And I'm not trying to call white people out. I'm absolutely not doing that. But I remember thinking where did this mentality come from? Why do people think this? And I'm here just to always keep sharing my experiences with you, that, we picked up and we moved. Of course, we had some anxiety. Yes, I've had experience, but at the end of the day, we did it. And I think that people just need to start opening their minds and going beyond this kind of mental block. And that's what I'm here to help you figure out, how do I do this? And when I say how, I mean, if you're just not clear on where to start, please contact me, book a lesson at afroexpats.com. There's a work with me page. When you go there, you can book 1 hour, you can book a 30-minute session, and you can ask me your questions about moving abroad. How do I do it? Where do I start? And as I said, at the very least, if you land on my page and you subscribe, you're going to get a free Move Abroad checklist. That'll at least start the process in your mind, so that you can kind of see, oh, okay, this is very involved, and I really do believe that everyone has their own experience of how to move to another country. A lot depends on job situations, where to, do I know anyone, can I connect with someone? Are they going to really, hold my hand a little bit? Not that I'm gonna hold hands physically, but my point is that, I've done it, I'm here, I have lots of experience, and I love sharing them. I love talking to people. I love helping people to get to their destination. So if that's what you want and that's what you're looking for, or you're contemplating it, or you're thinking about it, or you're not sure, or you're curious about it, book a call and I will certainly help you out. afroexpats.com, Michelle for Afro Expats. I'm the one that you will actually speak to. It's my experience, and I'm going to share with you anything I can, and I'm also going to offer you advice that is sound based on experiences that I've had and also people that I've helped in the past. All right, so I hope that this lesson today finds you well, and we'll catch up again in another week. All right, ciao for now. Buenas noches.